So we were just talking about the grammar book and how it's called Nose Tree. So anyway, we're going to start on page 1. So go ahead and turn a couple pages. You got the beginning here. A couple of things at the beginning. Go past this chart, go past this table of contents. And then it looks like this. At the bottom, you'll see a 1. At the top, you'll see week 1 up here. And then learn it here. So get to this page, page 1. For this part, Lizzie, you can just watch, okay? Since you don't have your book here. Whenever we do grammar in the morning together in class, I start with this page called Learn It. This is the page where we talk about what you're going to learn today in grammar. And then we're going to practice after this. So I read some of it and we talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this page. And then if you have any questions along the way, you can raise your hand in the camera or you can do an emoji hand. But I'll ask you too if you have any questions along the way. So it says every word belongs to a word group, a part of speech. There are 8 parts of speech. This is all of them. Noun, pronoun, verb, preposition, conjunction, adjective, adverb, interjection. And some of those you might go, oh, I know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. And some of them you might go, I have no idea what that is. I haven't even heard of that one before. I bet you know what a noun is, though. That one's pretty easy. You probably learned that one before. But the first part of speech that you will learn is the noun. Does anybody remember what a noun is? What kind of a word is a noun? You guys remember? It's okay if you don't. It's probably been a little while. Julio, what is a noun?
A person, place, thing, or idea.
That's good. And you looked ahead and that was okay. That's good. It's a person, place, thing, or idea. So a noun, sometimes we say you can touch it. If you can touch it, it's probably a noun. Like I can touch my computer, I can touch my book, I can touch my pen. These are all nouns because they're things, right? And then person, obviously that would be a person like you or your sister, brother, friend. Any person is a noun, a word for that. So it says to determine if a word is a noun, test it. So there's a way you can test a word. It says, can an article adjective a and the come before it? Can we put a before it? Can we put an or the before it? That usually means it's a noun. Or is it countable? Can you count it? So if you look on the margin over here on the side, it says tests, and then it has 2 things. It says the blank and 2 blank, like the number 2. That's a way you can test a word. If you see a word like pen, the pen, that works. 2 pens, yeah, that works. Or the word chair, the chair, yeah, that works. 2 chairs, yep, you can count chairs. So that test helps us to know if it's a noun. What if the word is blue? The blue. Doesn't really work. I feel like I need something else after that, right? The blue sky, the blue pillow, something like that. Two blue, doesn't really work. So blue is not a noun. That's how you use this test. It's one way to tell. So here's what you do in the book. You're going to find it. You're going to read the sentence and look for the words that name people, places, things, and ideas. Those are nouns. And then you're going to mark it, write N above each noun as shown below. So you're going to put N for noun on top of the nouns. So here's your example right here. The soldiers walked over hills and rivers. Soldiers are people. That's a noun. Hills and rivers, those are things. You're going to put an N on top of those words, not on top of walked, because that's not a noun. That's a verb. That's an action. So you're only going to put the N's on top of the nouns to start. And then Capitalization. Okay, who can tell me when do we capitalize a word in a sentence? Lizzie?
At the first sentence.
The first word of the sentence has a capital. Ashlyn, when else do we use a capital?
When it's a name or a city.
Very good. If it's a name of a person or a name of a city, those are capital too. And there's one other word that we always capitalize, and it's the word I. It's also just a letter, right? The letter I by itself is also a word. And anytime you use I, it's going to be capital. Okay, good. So here it says fix it. In order to mark it in this book and fix it, you're going to place 3 short lines below the letters that should be capitalized. So here's your example. The soldiers were hungry. They're going to mess up on purpose. They want to see if you can find it. So the word the should have a capital T because it's the beginning of the sentence. So they put 3 little lines underneath that. That's how you're going to mark that. And then end marks. There's 3 different ones that we use. Do you remember, Julio, what are the 3 things we can put at the end of a sentence?
Period, question mark, or quotate those 2 little ones? The
No.
quotation? No.
Not the quotation. It's the one that goes straight down and then a dot. Do you remember what that one's called?
Exclamation mark.
There you go. Good. So exclamation mark, question mark, or period. Those are the 3 things you can put at the end of a sentence for punctuation or end marks. Very good. Use a period at the end of a statement. Use a question mark at the end of a question. And then sometimes we are excited about something and we say things like, watch out, or here we go, or something like that. You know, you're going to use an exclamation point when you're excited about something. So it says place a period or question mark at the end of each sentence. They were tired, period. Just add it to the sentence. And then where did they find work? Question mark. You're just going to add it to the sentence because they're going to leave it off on purpose. And you have to figure out which one it is. And the last thing on this page says indentation. And that just means when you have a new paragraph, you move over a little bit on the first sentence, you indent, you leave a space, a bigger space. And sometimes I use my fingers, like a 2-finger space. Have you guys done that before? At the beginning of a paragraph, that kind of helps know how big to leave it. So it says, notice that some sentences are indented. An indented sentence means that the sentence begins a new paragraph. So if you have 3 paragraphs and there's a lot of sentences in there, the very first sentence is indented. It's moved over a little bit. That way it's easy to tell it's a new paragraph. Okay, does anybody have any questions about this page or anything we've talked about so far? If not, you can just shake your head no. Any questions? No? Okay. I like to see you go like this. That way I know you don't have any questions. Let's turn to page 3 because page 2 is blank. So we go to page 3 next. This is page 3. So Lizzie, I want you to, on a lined paper, since you don't have a book yet, go ahead and copy this on a lined piece of paper, and then you can fix it on that, okay?
My mom already got the book.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Yay. Just want to make sure. Good. At the top, you see where it says read it, mark it, fix it. That's what we're going to do next. The first one says read it. So does anybody want to read the sentence today to the class? Anybody feel like reading it? You don't have to. Eventually, I'll ask you to, but Lizzie, do you want to read it? Oh, okay. Lizzie said yes. And then Ashlyn, next time I'll have you read it, okay? Go ahead, Lizzie.
Did you ever hear the story of the 3 poor soldiers?
Nice. So we read the sentence. Now we need to check for the vocabulary word. The vocabulary word is going to be in bold. See how that word is a little darker than the rest of the words? That's because that's the vocabulary word. And the word is poor. Does anybody know what P-O-O-R, poor, means? You know what that means? Julio, what does that mean?
Like not having any money.
Yes, good. This is poor, like not having any money or not having very much money at all, right? So these soldiers were poor. Very good. So go ahead and put a check mark now. I'm going to put my plastic on top here so I can erase it. But up here by the word vocabulary, I want you to put a check mark. That tells us you checked it. You already know the word. And if you ever come across a vocabulary word that you don't know, you can ask your mom or your dad or your grandma, somebody at home, or if you have a dictionary, you can look it up and find out what it means. The next column is market, and it says 2 nouns here. So that means in this sentence, there are 2 nouns, and we have to find them. So, Ashlyn, do you see 2 words in here that are nouns? Person, place, or thing?
Story and soldiers.
Yes, very good. I'm going to put an N on top of story and an N on top of soldiers. So what we're doing is labeling these words. Story is a thing, and soldiers are people. Those are both nouns. Very good. Notice up here how it has an N next to the word nouns and it's in parentheses. That's to remind you that's how you label these words. You just put an N on top of them. So now we can put a check. That was easy. Already done with that one. Now we're going to move over to fix it. There's 2 things under here. By the way, as we go through this book, these lists get a lot longer. So this is good practice. Under fix it, it says 1 capital. So we're missing a capital. Do you know where it is, Julio? Which one?
The D in did.
Yes, because it's the first word, right? So that needs a capital. So what we're going to do is underneath that first D in the word did, you're going to do 3 little lines like that. And that tells me that you know that should be capitalized. And that way we could put a check up there. We did that. There's one last thing, the end mark. So Ashlyn, do you know what we should put at the end of this sentence? What kind of mark does it need?
A question mark.
Good. Yay. I'm glad you didn't say period, because at my other class, they said period. And I said, you got to look at it again. It is a question. Did you ever hear of the story of the 3 poor soldiers? Almost sounds like the 3 little pigs for a second, huh? But we're not talking about pigs. We're talking about soldiers, 3 poor soldiers. So draw in your question mark here at the end and then put a check. And now we're done with that at the top. That's how you do your pages, because you're going to have homework in this book this week. And that's how you do it. You start here and you go down each column, each list until you got it all done. And then we're going to rewrite it down here. See how it says rewrite it? But notice this big space right here, but by did, that's the indentation that we were talking about. That's the indent. So use a 2-finger space before you start writing. And then you're going to start with a capital D because we're going to fix that part. So leave a space and did, and then go ahead and in your nice handwriting, write this out, the whole sentence. When you get to that second line, you're going to go to the edge like this, okay? Of the 3. So don't forget, when you get to that second line, go to the edge. That shows that it's indented. Once you finish writing your sentence, give me a thumbs up. I see that. Good. I think Lizzie had trouble with her internet or something because she disappeared. We'll let her back in if she comes back in. So you can keep writing, Ashlyn. Oh, you got it? Oh, you have a question? Go ahead.
What do I do when I accidentally forgot a word?
Oh, good question. You can squeeze it in kind of in between if you need to, just kind of squeeze it in above it, maybe a little bit. That way you don't have to erase it. Good question, though. So while you're writing, keep going on that. Your homework for grammar is going to be pages 4, 5, and 6. And so, yeah, they're going to be easy, though. They'll be short like this, but you're going to do it the same way, okay? You're going to go to the top here and do each column. Check them off as you go, just like we did in class. Mark them here on the sentence and then rewrite it down below. Julio, do you have a question? I see that, Ashley.
I'm gonna start doing this all the pages already. This is kind of fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. Don't go ahead of us, though. You can do 4, 5, and 6, but don't go on to page 7 yet. That you have to
Okay.
wait for class. Yeah.
Okay.
But you get to decide if you want to do all the pages, those 3 pages on the same day. That's okay with me. Or if you want to spread it out and do like one each day, whatever your mom or dad wants you to do because they're your home teacher, right? So find out how they want you to do it. So for today, though, that's all we're doing in class. So you can close up your grammar book and set it aside. Did you have another question, Julio? No? Okay. Go ahead and close up your grammar book. Set it aside on your table there. And now you're going to get out your binder. Get out your binder. Hold on. Let me fix something really quick. And you should have your papers inside your binder. Do you have your papers inside the rings? Good. Do you have yours in the rings, Ashlyn? Okay, good. So when you open your binder, you're going to see this page, right? And we did that last week. We put these in here. So you should have these pages that we stuck in here. And then you should have this tab. Do you see the tab that says source texts? See that tab like that? Okay, I see that thumbs up. Do you see it on yours? Okay, good. If you turn that page, you should see this. It says week 1, the dog and the shadow. You see that page in your binder? It should be right after source text. That tab. It should be right after that tab. Do you have it, Julio? No? Uh-oh. It should be page 9. Okay, how about since both of you can't find it, if your mom's at home, see if your mom can help you real quick. Go see if your mom can come and help you. Just want to make sure you can find it. Oh, there you are. Okay, can you hear me okay? You might need to unplug your headphones for a second. So it should be right after the front few pages, and then we have the source text tab. And then right behind that should be week 1, but Julio said he doesn't see that. I want to make sure it's there. Oh, you got it. Good. Okay. Week 1, and make sure, Julio, that your binder is flat. When you open the rings, you're going to pull on these tabs. Don't pull on the rings itself because you might bend those. So pull those tabs apart, click it open, and I want you to just take out week 1, and it's only 4 pages long. There's 3 white pages. There's this one, Dog in the Shadow, Giant Saguaro. It has a picture of a cactus, and then a yellow page like that. And then once you see week 2 in your binder, don't take that one out yet. Leave that and close your rings. So it clicks closed, okay? Before you close up your binder. So you're going to take out week 1. And that's it. You close your binder. You also need a piece of lined paper. So get out 1 piece of lined paper too. So Ashlyn, is your mom there to help you? Okay. So did you find week 1? Oh, good. It looks like you found it. Okay, good. Yay.
3 pages?
It is 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. So it should be 3 white pages and 1 yellow page. All of that. There you go. You got it. And you need a piece of lined paper. Good. That'll work. Yes. Nice. And then make sure you close your rings though with the tabs. And you can close up your binder after you close up your rings. Okay, that's all we're getting out of it for now. And Lizzie's coming back in. What happened? You disappeared.
It's because it disconnected me because we had trouble with the internet today.
Okay, okay.
So it keeps disconnecting me from my classes.
Ah, well, it's okay. I recorded this for you, so you can watch anything you missed later, okay? Since you don't have your binder yet, I just want you to get out a lined piece of paper, okay? Get out a new one, a fresh, clean one. And a pen or a pencil, whatever you guys like to write with. So Ashlyn, did you get out week 1 already? I think I saw it. And then you got your lined paper? Good. Okay. All right. And you're going to remember this, Lizzie, from last year. Remember the dog in the shadow? Remember when we did that one? Yeah, we're going to do that one again. Maybe you have your binder from last year, huh? You still have it? Okay. Got to go get it. Okay. And then a piece of lined paper. Okay, so while Lizzie's gone, that's okay. She's done this before, so she knows. This is the first page of week 1. You'll see it here at the top. Week 1, the dog in the shadow, and then it says giant saguaro. This is a lesson plan. Basically, if you were doing this at home with just your mom, you would use this lesson plan here. But since you have me and I'm your teacher for this class, we're not going to use this page, but I want you to keep it together with your stuff, okay? So what I want you to do is put it at the bottom of your stack of papers underneath everything. So move that page to the bottom. And then you should see this page. Give me a thumbs up if you have this page. Good. Lizzie, did you find your old binder or no?
No, Mom says we don't have it.
Okay. So you're just going to watch on the screen for this part. Okay. All right. So here's the dog in the shadow. This is a story that says the dog and the shadow, and it says attributed to Aesop. Excuse me. Attributed to Aesop just means that this was originally written by Aesop. It's a type of fable. Have you ever heard the word fable before? Oh, good. Ashlyn has. Maybe not Julio. Maybe you have. Do you remember the story that's called The Lion and the Mouse, maybe? Or another one is The Tortoise and the Hare. You ever heard of that story before? No? Okay. Well, you will, Julio, but these are made up stories. They're pretend. And they usually have animals in them. But the most important thing about these stories is they teach us a lesson, like about life, something about life. Okay. So what we're going to do is read this, and then we're going to decide what lesson can we learn from it. If you look at the bottom, you'll see the picture. Obviously, there's a doggy, and he's looking in the water. Did you look closely down here? Because if you look really close, you can kind of see his face in the water. You guys see that? And then it looks like he's on a little bridge. There's a crow up here, bird. Maybe some plants and rocks near the water. But the doggy's cute. He's got a little curly tail. He looks a little skinny, so maybe he's been out looking for food for a while. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to read the story, and then I want you to be thinking of the lesson that you can learn from it about life. Okay, you can look at yours while I read this one. A lucky dog had found a big fresh bone and was carrying it home to enjoy. On his way, he had to cross a low bridge over a calm stream. As he crossed, he looked down and saw his own reflection in the water beneath. Thinking it was another dog with another bone, he wanted to have that also. So he growled and snapped at the other dog in the water. But as he opened his mouth, the bone fell out. It dropped into the stream and was gone forever. So maybe a word in there you don't know yet is reflection. Have you guys heard of that word before? Reflection. Oh, good. Yeah. So if you go into the bathroom and you look into the mirror, you're looking at your own reflection. You're looking at yourself, right? That's kind of what happened here when he's looking in the water. Have you ever been to somebody's house with a swimming pool, and before anybody jumps in it, it's pretty calm, unless it's windy outside. If it's quiet and the water's still, if you look down, you can see yourself in the pool. Have you seen that before? Yeah. Especially if the water's like really still. You can see a little reflection. So that's what's happening here. This is his reflection. So this is really him. But he doesn't know that, right? He thinks it's another dog with another bone. And so he wants that bone. So what is the life lesson we can learn? Did anybody think of one? What can we learn from this story? Julio.
To not be greedy.
Yes, to not be greedy. You guys know what greedy is, right? Greedy. Okay, so greedy means if somebody has something that you wish you had, it makes you jealous or almost mad. Like, that's not fair. How come she gets that and I don't? And maybe it happens to your sister or your brother. Maybe they got something that you didn't get and it doesn't feel fair and you want it. Well, maybe you already have something that's like that, but you want what they have. That's greedy. Okay. If you just want it because you want it and you're jealous, that's greedy, and that's not a good thing. You can be happy somebody else has it for them and hope to get it someday. You can hope to get it someday, whatever that is. But to kind of change your attitude and be jealous and kind of like grumpy like that, well, he already had a bone. He should be happy with what he has, right? But he wanted a second bone because he saw somebody else, another dog with a second bone. So he wanted two. He wasn't happy with just one. That's greedy. So you're right. That's the lesson we can learn from this. Okay, so now on your white piece of paper, I'm going to show you how to set up an outline. I'm going to teach you how to do this. It's pretty easy. The first step is the very top line of your paper right here. I want you to write your first and last name. So Julio is going to put Julio Soto right here. Put your own first and last name on the top line next to that red or pink line right here. Put your first and last name. Okay, and then right underneath that, the next line down, we're going to put the date. And I like to write the date with numbers. So I'm going to put it like this, and I'll tell you what it means. This is how I like to do it because it's quick. 9 means we're in September. It's the 9th month of the year, September. 12 means that's the day. Today is September 12th. 24 is the year. So we're in the year 2024 or 2024. So the date is 9/12/24. And that's how I like to write it because it's quick. And you'll learn each month has a different number. September is 9. All right. The next step is to put down the title, but we're going to skip a line. Sometimes we skip lines. So leave this next one blank. Don't put anything in that one. Go down one more. And this one, I want you to move over a little bit, kind of in the middle a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about it. I'm going to have you put the title, the dog, and, oops, the shadow. Notice the word the has a capital T, dog has a capital D, and the do not. Those are all lowercase, and then shadow has a capital S. That's because it's a title, and we're going to talk about this a lot more as we go. But just copy it exactly like that, the dog and the shadow. Okay. What we're going to do next, keep writing if you're still writing, it's okay. This is called keyword outline. I know Lizzie knows what that is. She's done this before. Keyword outline. So right underneath the title with a capital K, I want you to write key. And then with a capital W, I want you to write word. And then a capital O, I want you to write outline. Like that. Keyword outline. Don't worry, Ashlyn, if you're still writing, I'm going to give you time to finish this. I'm just going to tell you one last thing to put, and then we'll wait till everybody's ready. You're going to skip a line again, leave this one blank under keyword outline. And on the side, we're going to put some numbers. We're going to put a 1 with a dot, 2 dot, all the way to 6. And then I'm going to stop there till everybody has that and give me a thumbs up when you got it down. Nice. Good, Julio. Awesome. You got the numbers too, Ashlyn, 1 through 6? Perfect. Okay. So let's talk for a minute about that word key. When do we use a key? When have you guys ever seen anybody use a key to open something, right? What are they opening, Lizzie? What's something that needs a key?
A door, a car, and like when you're gonna go open your mail, you need your key for the car.
Good. The door, maybe the front door to the house, you need a key. To the car, you need a key. And to if you have a mailbox that has a key. What else, Julio? Do you think of something else?
A lock.
A lock. Very good. So if you don't have a key, has that ever happened to you guys where you're outside and the front door is locked and you don't have the key? Has that ever happened to you before? No, that's good. You, Julio, has that happened to you before? Okay, it's not good, right? How are we gonna get in the house? I thought you had the key. Oh, I thought you had the key. That's happened to us before. So if you're small, like you guys, you might be able to fit through the doggy door to get in. Yeah. You don't have a doggy door. So that's happened to us before. And our daughter was really small. She was small and she fit through the doggy door. So she would go through the back gate, go to the back door, crawl through the doggy door, and then open the front door for us so we could get inside. But the point is, if you don't have your key, then you're not going to be able to get inside the house. It's going to be hard. And that's true with the car too, which is almost worse. If you're out like at Walmart and you accidentally lock the keys inside the car, that's not good either, because then you can't get in and you have to call somebody to help you break into your own car to get the keys, right? So the key is super important. So it's true for writing too. When you have key words, those are the most important words in the sentence. Those are the key words. So let's look back on the story at the first sentence, and we're going to look at this sentence by sentence, and you're going to help me pick out some key words, the really important words. Okay, so the first sentence says, a lucky dog had found a big fresh bone and was carrying it home to enjoy. Well, I know the word a, that's not a key word. That's just a little article, just a little filler word that we need. Lucky, that could be a key word because it's describing the doggy, right? We know that the doggy is a lucky doggy. So go ahead and for now, we're going to underline that. Okay, go ahead and underline lucky. I know you don't have yours with you, Lizzie, so you can just watch this part. And dog, that's definitely a key word because that tells us who we're talking about, right? That's important to know. The word had, nah, not a key word. Found, okay, yeah, that's a key word. Go ahead and underline as I underline too. A big fresh bone. Well, big and fresh are important because they're telling us about the bone, but bone, I'm going to skip big and fresh. Bone is important. We got to know about the bone. That's kind of the main part of the story, right? So that's a super key word, bone. The word and, not so much, right? And is not really key. Was is not key. Carrying, yeah, that could be a key word. It, no, not key. Home, yes. Home is important. To, nope, not a keyword, but enjoy, yeah, I would say that's a keyword. Okay, so we found a bunch of keywords here. So the rule, though, we have a rule, and it's it makes it a little harder with this rule. But on your outline, you can only pick 3. Lizzie knows, right? Remember that? You can only pick 3 words. And we have, how many words did we underline? Show me on your fingers how many we underlined. 5? I think there's more than that. So there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 7. Okay. Way too many. We can only pick 3. So now we got to pick the most important of those keywords. Well, I know we're talking about a dog because that's the name of the title. I'm not going to choose lucky or dog. I might choose found, though. I think found is important to know. So I'm going to circle found. And definitely bone, circle bone. And then we've got carrying, home, enjoy. And the most important word there is going to be home because that tells us where he went. So we've got found, bone, home. So those are good keywords. Those are like the best keywords in my opinion. Now you might have a different idea with that, but for this one, we're going to do this together. So copy down next to number 1, the ones you circled. So we circled found and then comma. We're going to put commas between each word and then home. Found, bone, home. Good. And we put commas between. Now there's another rule. Do you remember, Lizzie, what the things are we can use for free that we don't have to count? You remember what those were? We could do numbers. Remember? If you ever need to put a number in there, you don't have to count that as a word. You can use symbols. You can draw a little picture. Remember that, Lizzie? If you draw a little picture, you can use that and you don't have to count that. And you can use an abbreviation and you don't have to count that as a word. So abbreviation would be like for the word Monday, you could put MON dot, and that's short for Monday, right? So there are some things that we can use for free if we need to. Let's look at the second sentence. The second sentence, number 2, starts here. On his way, he had to cross a low bridge over a calm stream. Let's look for those keywords. At the beginning, it says on his way, he had to. All of those are not keywords, right? Those are just kind of filler words. Cross is a good word. That's a keyword. I don't really need low, but I know I need bridge. Definitely need bridge. That's an important word in the sentence. What do you think, Julio? What else?
Calm,
Yes. Anything else?
maybe stream.
Yes, I agree. Those are all good key words, but how many do we have? Yep, Lizzie's already showing me. We have 4. And how many? Yep, you already knew my next question. We can only have 3. So we have to skip one of them. Well, I know for sure we need bridge because that's important to know. So let's circle bridge. And I don't know if we need cross because when you get to a bridge, you normally cross it, right? That's what we do. When we see a bridge, we cross the bridge. So I'm thinking, I saw your hand for a second there, Julio. I think we need calm. That's important. And stream, definitely important. We got to know there's water there. So that word calm means that it was really still. The water was still, like I talked to you. I see that, Lizzie. How the pool is sometimes before anybody jumps in it. It's really calm and still like that. So that's an important word to have. So go ahead and copy bridge, comma, calm, comma, stream. Like I said, there's more keywords in a sentence. There's more than 3 usually, but we have to find them all and then we have to pick which are the best out of those keywords, which are the most important. Because eventually, in a little bit here, we're going to put away the original story and we're going to see if we can retell the story without looking at the original, with only looking at the keywords. That's the goal. So you have to pick those words that are super important to remember, and then you're going to make up your own sentence using those words. Okay, so let's keep going to the next sentence. You guys have any questions so far? Nope. Okay, good. The next sentence says, as he crossed, he looked down and saw his own reflection in the water beneath. All right. We already know he crossed. I'm not going to underline that one. He looked down. Okay, that seems important to know. He looked down and he saw. I'm going to underline saw because that's a good keyword. What do you think, Julio? What else?
Reflection.
Yes, for sure, reflection. What else?
Water beneath.
I think so too. Yep. So we found those keywords. The extra words are just kind of filler words there. But how many did we underline for that sentence? Do you have a question, Ashlyn?
You could maybe do like his like own, cause like it would have been like someone else's, and maybe it would be own.
Oh, good point. Let's underline it. We might want to use that. Now we have, wait, 1, 2. We actually have 7 now that we underlined own. Yep. Way too many. How are we going to pick? Which ones are the best? What do you think, Julio? Which ones are the most important that we need to know?
Reflection.
Yes. For sure, reflection. That's probably the most important.
Maybe beneath.
Yeah. What is
And
beneath? Wait, what does beneath mean? Do you guys know what that means? Beneath?
like under.
Like under. Is that what you were going to say, Ashlyn? Okay. Beneath. I think that's important. Beneath.
And then looked.
Okay, looked or water, because we kind of, I don't know, water's pretty important. Because we might think he's looking at a mirror, or, I mean, I guess we can assume it's a bridge over water, but I kind of think water. I hear why you think looked though, because that tells us that's where he's looking. But if he's on the bridge, I kind of think we need water. So let's put reflection, water beneath. We could draw. Oh, do you have an idea, Lizzie, to draw something?
Can I go get water?
Yes, you can. What I was going to say is instead of using the word looked, we could draw some eyes. Julio, we could go like this. We could draw little eyes, some eyelashes on there. That he looked down, and then we can put that word reflection. Water beneath. Okay, so that's a good example because you can use symbols with, so like the eyes would be a symbol for looked. And we don't have to count that as a word because it's not a word, it's a symbol. So we have reflection, water beneath. We still have our 3 words, which is good. We only need 3. We decided to draw little eyes here, Lizzie. And then reflection, water beneath. Okay, good. Yeah, you had to add them in. That's fine. Okay, next sentence says, let me look at the time really quick. Actually, I'm gonna pause right here and we're gonna talk about these that we wrote here really quick. So what I want you to do is turn your original story over upside down like that. Okay, so it's upside down. And I only want you to look at your keyword outline. And we're going to go back to number 1, and you see how we have found, bone, and home. And I know that the title is The Dog in the Shadow. It's kind of weird that they use the word shadow in the title because it doesn't really talk about his shadow. It's more like his reflection, which is a little different. But that was just kind of a fun way to make up a title, I guess. But if I look at found, bone, and home, and I think, how can I make that back into a complete sentence without looking at the original? I could say something like this. I could say, one day there was a dog who found a bone and he wanted to take it home. I made up my own sentence. It's different than the original one, right? But I use the word found, bone, and home. So Julio, can you think of a different sentence or something similar? Can you think of a sentence using found, bone, and home?
A dog one day found a bone and took it home.
There you go. A dog one day found a bone and took it home. How about Ashlyn? Can you think of a sentence with just found, bone, and home?
A dog found a bone at his home.
Not at his home, though. Remember, he found it on the way home. You could say that, on the way
On
home.
the way home. Yeah.
There you go. That's a good one. How about Lizzie? Do you have one for found bone and home? Uh-oh, did she freeze? She's frozen. Lizzie, she froze. Oh, now she's gone. Okay. You guys did a good job though. Here she comes. She's back. She's back. So it was your turn, Lizzie. Can you think of a sentence with found, bone, and home? Think of a sentence and tell us a sentence with those.
A dog found a dog found a bone near a restaurant and wanted to take it home.
Oh, good. She added another detail near a restaurant. That's funny. That's a good one. That's right. Okay, so let's try number 2 just for practice, because now you get the idea. This is why we're picking out those really important key words so that we can retell it in a different sentence. Julio, do you want to try number 2?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I started writing it beneath where the
Oh, you're practicing the sentence? Good.
yeah.
That's good. Look at number 2. We have bridge, calm, and stream. How can you make that back into a complete sentence?
He was walking over a bridge and he seen the calm stream.
Good. I like it. He's seen or he saw would be probably a little better grammar wise. He saw a calm stream underneath it. Good. How about Ashlyn? Can you use bridge, calm, and stream in a sentence?
He was on a bridge and he looked down at the calm stream.
Nice. I like it. He was on a bridge and he looked down at the calm stream. Lizzie, how about you try number 2? Bridge, calm, and stream.
He walked over to a bridge near a calm stream.
Nice. Okay, so did you guys notice all 3 of you had different sentences, but you had the keywords were the same. And that's what we're practicing here. So we're going to pause on this and we're going to finish 4, 5, and 6 next week together. And then we're going to practice telling the story to each other. Okay, only using those keywords. So now what I want you to do is turn your story back over and put everything in a stack. So you have all 4 of those pages that we got out of your binder and your keyword outline on top. And then you're going to keep it inside the pocket of your binder. So did you notice when you open up the binder on the inside? Let me zoom this out so you can see it. On the inside, right inside the pocket, there's a pocket there. And you can put these papers inside of it like this. Slide them in there. That's on the inside. So you got this on this side, and then there's this pocket here. This is where you keep all the work that you're going to work on during the week. Okay, this is where your homework goes. So whenever it's time for you to do your homework, you know where it's at. But for this week, you don't have to do anything with this. You're going to keep it right here until class time next week. So your homework, though, so go ahead and close up your binder. You're keeping that in the pocket there. Your homework this week is only the grammar that we practiced. Okay, we did page 3 together, and you're going to do pages 4, 5, and 6. And that's it for your homework this week, because I want to take it really, really slow so you know exactly what we're doing with these keyword outlines. Are you putting everything in that pocket, Julio? Good. Okay. Because you want to keep your stuff together. You don't want to get it all spread out. Sometimes it's easy to lose stuff that way. So make sure you keep it all together. There you go, nice and stacked up like that. Put it in your pocket, that front pocket. And make sure you keep your pens, your pencils, everything in your bag. Keep it all together at your table. What are you trying to say, Lizzie?
That can you like text my mom to like tell her that I have to be doing the 3 pages I have to do for grammar because I forget.
Well, it's on the Google Classroom. Remember how you guys used that last time? So the homework is there. That's where you find it. Okay. Do you know how to get on Google Classroom? Do you remember how to do that? Do you know how, Ashlyn?
Do I have to do the paper on the school book, or do I have to do it on the Google Classroom?
Good question. So for your grammar, you're going to do it in the book, right? You're going to write it in the book. And then when you're done and your mom checks it, because I'm going to send the answer key on Google Classroom too, because I want your mom to check it, make sure it's right. Then she's going to take a picture of it with her phone. And then she'll upload it to Google Classroom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If she
Thank you.
needs help, yeah, if she needs help with that, just let me know and I can help her with that. But that's all you have to do is those 3 pages in grammar for homework. That's it. Don't do week 2 yet. We're only doing week 1. Did you want to show us something really quick, Lizzie? I'm going to stop recording here. If you need to go, you can go.